Welcome to our live interview with the writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle, powered in part by Classic of Denton. Well, hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning in with us live at dentonradio.com. We are getting an update from the one and only Mr. Brett Vito of the Denton Record-Chronicle. Today we are getting an update on all things Denton sports, and there is a lot to be celebrating about here in Denton. So Brett, take it away.
Well, yeah, it was a good week for North Texas in terms of football, which is, of course, the big thing at this time of year. North Texas ended up improving to 4-0. They had a kind of a rough road trip this last week. They had to go to Liberty, which is all the way out in Lynchburg, Virginia, which is not easy to get to, believe me, because I went. And they went out there, and it was kind of an odd game because of the weather conditions. There was just a storm that settled right over the top of the stadium there and caused two delays. The kickoff was delayed for, I think it was 43 minutes, and then got into the second half. A couple lightning strikes caused another delay that lasted about another 40, 50 minutes. And in the end, North Texas ended up pulling it out pretty easily against a decent Liberty team that had really hammered Old Dominion earlier in the year, and Old Dominion's another Conference USA team. So that was another great win for North Texas. And since the last time I've been here, they did go to Arkansas and won that game, in a game that got a lot of national attention just because of North Texas faking a fair catch on a punt and bringing it back for a touchdown. Keegan Brewer, who's from Lake Dallas, got a lot of national attention for just a gutsy call on the part of Marty Biaggi and their special teams coordinator. So those two wins improved North Texas to 4-0, heading into what is going to be one of the more interesting games of the week. And before I get to who they're playing, North Texas being 4-0, they did receive additional top 25 votes this week. So North Texas is hanging kind of on the periphery of the top 25 nationally, which is pretty exciting for the program. They've received votes a couple of times in the past, but this is probably the most votes that they have gotten in the top 25 in years, and they haven't been ranked since 1959, so that's a pretty exciting deal for North Texas. And like I said, they come home. Saturday is the conference opener against a really good Louisiana Tech team. Louisiana Tech gave LSU a bit of problems this last week in Baton Rouge in an in-state rivalry game. Of course, LSU ended up pulling that game out, but Louisiana Tech will be coming in on Saturday. Good team. They're 2-1. This could be the top two teams in Conference USA's West Division. So it'll be a very important game for North Texas, and it all works out because this weekend is a pretty big weekend in terms of just the peripheral stuff that's going on around the game. We've mentioned before in the paper, quite extensively actually, that North Texas is going to be unveiling a statue of program legend Mean Joe Green and breaking ground officially on their new indoor practice facility. Both of those events will take place this weekend on Saturday. So that will be a big lead up to the game. The groundbreaking will be at 3 o'clock there. The indoor facility is going to be built on what is now and probably will still be the Darrell R. Dickey football practice facility, named after one of their great former coach, Hall of Fame coach, who was here several years ago. They're building that venue on top of there. They've already started on it. The groundwork has already been begun there, but they will, officially stick a shovel in the ground and talk about opening that $16 million indoor practice facility at 3. After that, everybody will scooch on over to the main gate at Apogee there, and they will unveil a statue of Mean Joe Green, who was an All-American at North Texas in the 60s, went on to be one of the greatest players in NFL history, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, who has been highly involved in North Texas, not just from an athletic standpoint, but from just a university-wide standpoint. He was the first African-American member of the Board of Regents and has just continued to be a real involved person with the University of North Texas over the course of his life. He has a scholarship at North Texas named after his late wife there. So just a really important person in North Texas history that they're going to honor, and that'll be a really well-attended groundbreaking. They did do groundbreaking and statue unveiling. The person that designed the statue is a very famous sculptor. I forget his name off the top of my head, but it should be an exciting time for North Texas in terms of just everything that goes on this weekend. On the high school front, there are some pretty important games that have gone on or will go on over about the next week or so. And we've got our crosstown rivalry game this Friday, Denton versus Ryan at C.H. Collins. So that will be an exciting game for local high school football fans. Both Denton and Ryan be on the field at the same time. Those crosstown games, because of districts and classifications, there haven't been as many of them in recent years, but we will see Denton versus Ryan. Geyer will open, and that game is on Friday. Geyer opens district play this week versus Keller Central on Thursday in Keller. So that's another important game. We'll see how Geyer starts to stack up against some of the teams it's playing in district. Geyer traditionally plays a real tough non-district schedule, and now we'll start to see how they measure up in their district, which is, the big thing when it comes to getting into the playoffs. And one result that was pretty nice last week for the Denton High School football community is Braswell. Braswell played Centennial 143-0, and that was Braswell's first win of the year. So that's pretty exciting from the high school football front. And of course, we still have the Olympic sports is what I'm trying to say here.
Cool.
The UNT soccer team is doing very, very well. They had their last match canceled, but they are moving up in the RPI. They are also receiving top 25 votes. So they are playing very well, and North Texas volleyball got their first win in conference play. They've struggled this year, but they broke through for their first conference win early in conference play against Louisiana Tech last week. So they look to be maybe starting to turn a little bit of a corner there. At least that's the hope. So that's kind of just the general overview of what's going on around town. But this weekend at North Texas is the big headliner there.
Very, very cool. Well, Brett, thank you very much for being here. Guys, we sit down with writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle every Monday to get updates on all things Denton business, Denton events, Denton sports, all that good stuff. Today we had the opportunity, of course, to talk Denton sports. Brett, thank you so much for giving us your time. We appreciate it. If you guys would like to go deeper into any of these stories or any of this information, make sure you're always checking out the Denton Record-Chronicle or, of course, DentonRC.com. We thank you guys again for being here with us at DentonRadio.com. Have a good one, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.